I'm Lyle Desmond here with Steer the Line with some great picks for you, or at least one great pick that I'm going to be talking about, and also a little advice on bets that you can run the whole season. They're a lot of fun in the NFL. Makes a lot of games that wouldn't be otherwise interesting. I mean, otherwise, who cares about the Chicago Bears unless you live in Chicago? So remember, hit the bell, like, subscribe, and send us your comments. We want to keep you engaged and want to bring you the picks that you want and the information that you want. So make sure you subscribe, follow, hit the bell, all those things. The USFL championship and season is behind us. It provided some mild entertainment, springtime football, and allowed us to bet. And by the way, make some money if you followed my advice and you took the money line with the Stallions last week. You made some ducats. Hopefully you didn't tip too much on the over-under bet I suggested. But I did say it was going to be a stretch to get the over-under and a stretch to get the -4.5 for the Stallions. And I strongly suggested that most of your money should go on the money line with the Stallions, which I thought was the right play. Thankfully, a late interception saved our bacon, and we won that game. Boy, it was a weird one. But anyway, hopefully you're cashing a ticket. In the interim, while we're waiting for NFL preseason to start, and by the way, betting on preseason games is dicey. It's going to be fun. We're going to do some picks, but I'm not going to suggest you put big money on preseason games in terms of betting. NFL futures and NFL over-under win-loss bets are a lot of fun, and they go all season long. Last year, the Rams were plus 1,400 to win the Super Bowl. If at the beginning of the season, you put $100 down on the Rams to win the Super Bowl, you're coming out with $1,500. That's some nice odds. You can get good odds on NFL futures, division championships, winning the Super Bowl. Even the favorite right now, the Buffalo Bills, is plus 650. You put $100 down on the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl, you're walking with $750. I mean, that's still a decent payout. Now, for me, if you're going to put serious money on a long-term bet like that, I want longer odds because there's so many things that can happen to derail a season. The overall win-loss bets is where you can bet on a predetermined number if a team is going to have over or under a certain number of wins or losses. So, in this case, we're going to talk about the Chicago Bears. The Bears number right now sits at 6.5, meaning if you bet the under, it's got to be 6 or under wins. If you bet the over, it's got to be 7 or over wins. I love the under here. Love it, love it, love it. The Bears won 6 games last year. Since then, they've just gotten worse. They lost Khalil Mack, their sack leader, most likely best defensive player. He was traded away. They lost their main offensive weapon and best player on offense, at least probably. Allen Robinson means more to that offense than the running back. He went to the Rams. They lost their top 2 offensive linemen from a line that Pro Football Focus ranked just 21st in effectiveness last year. Their starting running back, David Montgomery, would you pick him up in the 3rd or 4th round in fantasy football if you need a running back? Sure, but is he going to light the world on fire? No. And Justin Fields. Quarterback Justin Fields. Let's just say Justin Fields is not yet a proven NFL starter. Okay? Now, when you are going into the season and the bright spot that you're looking for on your roster is whether a rookie tackle that played 3 games last year is going to be proved to be worthy of the high draft pick you gave him the year before, this is the big hopes for the Chicago Bears this year. Is Tevin Jenkins going to prove out to be a valuable addition to the team or not? Yeah. Oh, boy. The new coach, Matt Eberflus. Yeah, exactly. This guy's brought in an entirely new staff, which is what happens when they fire the head coach. And so you've got new schemes on offense and defense, an unproven quarterback, all kinds of losses on the offense and defense. This team stinks. They're in the AFC North. They're going to have to play Green Bay twice. That's 2 losses. They're going to have to play the Minnesota Vikings twice. That's 2 losses. They're going to play an improved Detroit Lions team twice. That's at least one loss. They also are faced multiple likely playoff teams: Bills, Eagles, Cowboys, and 49ers. I think they lose at least 3. Then they have to play the Giants on the road. They get an improved Miami Dolphin teams at home with an impressive array of new offensive weapons, including the Cheetah, who came over from Kansas City. That's at least one more loss. And then really, you look at the schedule, they've got 3 winnable games. Home with the Texans. Texans are probably the worst team in the league. Commanders, if Carson Wentz rebounds a little bit, that team has some weapons. They've got a decent defense. They could lose that game. And then at Atlanta Falcons, how good is Atlanta going to be? Boy, they've got a bunch of tall receivers. Marcus Mariota is not a horrible quarterback. I think he's better than Justin Fields. They could lose that game. Basically, the only game that I can say for sure they have at least like a 70% chance of winning is against the Texans. If they get 6 wins, I'll be stunned. So the under. The Bears under 6.5 for wins on the season. I'm Loud Esdin for Steer the Line.